What's up, guys? It's me, Retrovin, and we're back with another review. This time, we're going to be reviewing Ape Escape 2 for the PlayStation 2. This is a game I was always interested in doing, and since we did Ape Escape 1, I thought it'd be fair to do this. I prefer it in some ways, but I don't prefer it in other ways. Now, obviously, I'll be explaining that in this review, so, yeah, without further ado, let's get on with it. So the story starts off with Jimmy making a big oopsie. He basically gives the monkeys a bunch of pants, but he doesn't realize that he also gave them the Peepo helmets, which that gives them sentience, which means that they're able to, do crazy stuff. And Spectre even got it, and he's the leader, so yeah, obviously it's going to spell trouble because now he's going to get them to take over the world. Now, instead of Spike this time, it's up to Jimmy to basically stop the monkeys, and that's basically your story. There's a little bit of other twists, like you meet the professor again while he's gambling, and then you meet sometimes like the little monkey on you does leave because the monkey is mainly like a tutorial monkey to basically like give you health if you die. So he'll show up sometimes, but for the most part you don't really have him throughout the game, which I think is good because he's a little bit too easy of a character to have. Overall, the story is mostly the same. You also do have bosses, though, unlike the last one. And I mean, like, major ones. So, like, every couple of levels, you'll fight a different colored monkey. I'll get into that when we mention the bosses, but they're pretty good as a whole. The story basically just caps off literally like the first one. You fight all the monkeys, and then you go against Spectre, and that's that. But after that, you gotta get more monkeys, and then you fight him again, kind of thing. Another cool twist, though, unlike the other one, is you can play as Spike in the game, but you have to 100% the game and get everything to do it. It's still a cool feature that they have, but it would have been nice if there's like an option. I do like that they added that, though. Before we get past the story, I do have to note that the voice acting is heavily improved compared to the other games. Now the voice actors actually sound like they're trying this time. It's not as funny, but I do like that they didn't make it sound bad.
But this time I've got the Freaky Monkey 5 on my side. They'll put up a fight like you've never seen. Sorry, but you just don't stand a chance. I fed them these Vita Z bananas, so now they're stronger than you.
Just keep talking. Jimmy will be there any moment to catch you.
We'll see who will be catching whom. This should be a lot of fun.
Jimmy, it's up to you. You gotta stop him.
Okay, no problem. Just count on me.
Now with all the story stuff out of the way, we can get on to the gameplay. Now, the gameplay isn't very different from Ape Escape 1. It's still solid, just like Ape Escape 1. I would say it's actually better because it feels more smoother. That'd be the accurate description, and that's one of the big things that Ape Escape 2 does a lot better than 1. The gadgets are about the same too. They have a little more than the first one, but overall it's pretty much the same package as you would be expecting from your standard Ape Escape game in the end. The environments, while not time-based, are also pretty varied as well, all things considered. You have, like, instead of it being a time-themed, it's like going around the world, so you go to different countries in the world in the game, which gives you enough variety. They got snow levels, they got, like, Venice-themed levels, they got tons of different environments. Now, it's kind of like the first one, where it's like a couple levels within that sort of region, and then after you beat a boss, you go to the next region kind of thing. So, pretty standard stuff as a whole. Now, to be fair, the graphics are kind of ugly for a slightly later 2003 PS2 game, but what makes up for it is the colors in the environment. It's a very colorful game, and for that, it looks just really good. And that basically supersedes that, in my personal opinion, at least. Each of the monkeys are a lot more varied now, too. A lot of them have their own name and special little quirk to them, like some of them will have like a different outfit or something. Now, a lot of them are there are some that are the same, but a lot of them are different, and it's way more than the first game. So they really improved on the variety of monkeys you can actually go through in the game and, basically just get. And it's cool. It's nice seeing like a different monkey name and getting a bile for them. They really upped the ante on the bosses in this game compared to 1. Instead of, just the regular Jake fights, like I mentioned before, you have all 5 of the different monkeys. Each of them have their own little personalities, like the blue one who meme godhood. Then you got the red one who's arrogant. You got the yellow one who has a funny voice and who's He's got a big chub. He's kind of a weird one, but he's one of the best ones of the 5. And then you got the pink one, who's basically like a pop star. And then the white one, who, he's probably the least good out of all of them. Like, he's very bland, and there's nothing to him. I don't really like his boss too much either. Most of the bosses, though, are pretty varied, and I like the strategies you have to use to get them as a whole. You also have a really nice option of extras you can get, even more in the first one, of course, where now you can upgrade your RC car for certain things. You can buy different stuff. It's cool. It's not like a ton, but like there's this little mini game machine that you could basically break and get with all of your little yellow things that you get. And it gives you concept art, it gives you monkey stories, it gets you, like, all the cool stuff. And I like that amount of options that the game gives you for stuff like that. They also brought back the monkey mini games, which, they're okay. They're about at the same wavelength as the first one, except the only difference now is I don't like any of them, unlike the first one, where I liked one of them. And that's one of the other ways where I think the second one kind of did worse than the first one. Luckily, though, it's a very minor thing, so it doesn't affect much. The enemy variety is also a little less than the first game, too. You mostly, like, fight, like, pig-looking people and pig tanks. The monkeys are varied, but the regular enemies are not so varied, sadly. Another big thing I wish they would do is I wish they had, like, a way to cycle items better. So, like, when you want to get items, right, there's no, like, easy quick select to get them. You have to go all the way in the menu to get a specific item. It's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice if they had, like, some kind of option rather than just, like, you know, the current way you have it where you got to go in the options menu to get it. And it's really annoying. I also don't like that the main collectibles you get have a cap at 1,000. It would have been nice if they gave, like, a different cap rather than just that. The worst part about this game is the music. The music in this game is god-awful. They just don't sound good. They sound very bland to me. And I know it's probably a little bit of a controversial opinion to fans who really like the game, but I just don't like it. There are, however, a few tracks in it that aren't too bad, and, you know, for the sake of it not seeming like the worst thing, I'm going to show some of the few tracks I actually like. It was a very hard pick, but I did find 3 that were okay. overall, I'd say I prefer 2 to 1 by a little bit. Not by too much, because 1, I feel like that game has a better style than 2. It's a very close one, but I do feel like 2 does slightly beat it out for the fact that it has much better gameplay, and the bosses are just... they're more varied. I like the boss battles, and the monkeys are also varied too. It is kind of sad, though, that the style of the first game was Sacrifice, which is why it kind of pushes 1 up close to 2, because it lost, like, that musical style, and the style of a few other things. But, as a whole, Ape Escape 2 is a pretty solid game that I'd recommend to anyone if they got a PS2. And, you know, if you can handle the European version, I would recommend that on PS4. Not on PS5, though, because that version is not good, and I would not recommend that to any soul, because that version is completely broken. Anyway, see you guys in the next video.